Maybe a bit controversial, but actually the best, in my opinion. Flex DPS or projectile character in the game, Pharah. But Pharah is f***ing busted. Busted. Pharah is f***ing dominating.
I think it's safe to say Pharah has been a bit of a menace lately. She's doing incredibly well in ranked. The devs recently quoting her at a 58% win rate. And if you take a look at her stats on Overbuff, in the higher tiers of play, she is minimum top 3 win rate in PC, which is kind of crazy to say for Pharah. I do agree with the discourse going on right now. She could definitely use some fundamental nerfs to rein her in so that she isn't as oppressive as she is right now. But I don't think you fix Pharah with simple number tweaks, like a damage nerf. With the mid-season patch coming out soon, we're all expecting some balance changes to come for Pharah. So I thought it would be a fun video to think up some of my own balance changes that would rein Pharah in and make her a healthier character to play as, with, and against than she is right now. And let's be honest with each other, Blizzard doesn't have a great track record of balancing their reworks. So I want to take a crack at it and see what I can cook up. The first change, and I think honestly the biggest and probably the most important for Blizzard to make, would be Pharah's HP pool. With the very controversial Season 9 health pool changes, Pharah went from 200 HP all the way up to 250 with the majority of squishies in the game. This has made everybody harder to kill and more difficult to punish quickly. And in Pharah's case, she abuses that stat change much better than the majority of characters because she is so mobile and plays at such extreme ranges at times. I think one of the biggest changes that should absolutely happen to Pharah is reducing her HP by a minimum of 25 so that she sits at 255 HP. That way, she is much easier to punish and can be comboed or one-shot by many more characters if she is caught in the middle of a fight. Like I said earlier, I think Pharah is generally okay being as offensively powerful as she is, since you normally have to be very aggressive and active to get this value. But currently, she is nowhere near punishable enough and has very little downtime, which means her advantage state is practically constant, and you're forced to either match the Pharah to be just as difficult to handle, or to counter swap and coordinate with your team in a focus fire just to have a chance at killing the Pharah through Overwatch's potent healing and that substantial 250 HP pool. 225 HP and below lets Pharah die to Hanzo headshots, 2 direct Pharah rockets, 2 headshots from Cass or Ashe, practically 2 headshots from the vast majority of characters. She can die to Junkrat's grenade into mine combo, Echo sticky bomb plus melee or left click, etc. The point is, Pharah with this lower HP pool is much more killable if she overextends or overcommits in a duel. And with that reduced HP, she shouldn't win anywhere near as many of the risky fights that she does now. Now for actual ability changes, let's talk her primary fire. I think honestly, even though it has benefited greatly from the recent armor changes, I think her damage is fine where it is right now and shouldn't be changed unless she continues to be an issue after nerfing other parts of her kit. So what I would like to do to the primary fire is actually slow it down and increase the recovery lockout that Pharah experiences after firing a rocket. Her fire rate is currently around 1.25 seconds in between rockets, and I think increasing this to 1.5 seconds or even slightly longer would rein in this ability a whole lot. This makes the very potent rocket conk into a follow-up rocket combo much less consistent, which reduces her burst and one-shot combo potential, especially at long ranges, where that combo can be pretty oppressive if you're on any immobile characters. Next, let's talk Jet Dash. People thought it was a little underwhelming at first, but players who understood what this ability gave Pharah after the rework, rightfully called it out as probably being a little too much. Giving Pharah burst horizontal mobility improves her matchup versus what should check her in hit scan exponentially. And I think that it is actually a really good change. I just think that it is up way too often for how much it does for the Pharah player. I think Jet Dash at a minimum should be a 10-second cooldown, which would slightly increase Pharah's punish windows and downtime. But in exchange, I think it should probably do something extra and have it refund some fuel like Jump Jet. Just not nearly as much, probably half as much of what Jump Jet does. This slightly increases the amount of downtime Pharah has in between uses of this burst movement ability, and pretty substantially increases how killable she is when she's used it. That 2 seconds is an extra couple shots from the vast majority of characters in the game, which is sometimes all you need to finish her off. The final thing I'd change about Pharah right now would be greatly, and I mean massively, increasing the enemy's audio cues from Pharah's movement abilities and her hover jets. Pharah is far too mobile and lethal of a character to be anywhere near as stealthy as she is on the flank. I think making her movements in general more audible would do wonders for everyone when playing against her and giving them the ability to actually respond to a Pharah reliably. There is a real possibility that even with changes like this, Pharah could continue to be too much. So I think some follow-up changes you could do after giving changes like this some time would include reducing her total fuel amount or increasing the fuel drain whenever she's using hover jets. You could also start touching her damage numbers and shift everything towards rewarding the direct hit more and reducing the splash damage, but keeping her total damage numbers per shot the same. You could also revert the projectile speed increase, making her rockets and combos less reliable so that she has to lead individual shots more or be closer range to get consistent value. Honestly, there is a real world where even with all of these changes, Pharah continues to be too much of a menace, and the character might need more tweaks to put them in a healthy direction. But I think the changes I've suggested would be enough to rein her in without totally gutting the character. Let me know if you agree with my changes down below, or any changes that you would make to Pharah to put her in a healthier spot within the game. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.